Well, hello there, and today we'll be doing a tier list of all the flags from every country and territory in the world. And more importantly, we'll be looking at the ones that have official street view on Geoguessr. All the ones that don't will be put in I don't know, Jeff. Also, I am only reviewing them based on how the flag looks. So it's just for fun, and yeah, other than that, let's jump straight into it. So Norway is pretty solid flag. I think I'll have to put it in C tier. Nothing too special, but it's actually a fairly decent. Pakistan, I actually like the really dark green with the white, but this white part of the flag really bothers me, and just because of that, I have to put it in F. Palestine, I really am not a fan of flags that have like big triangles in, on most occasions at least, and especially with this colour variation, I have to put that under F. Papua New Guinea, dunno, Jeff. Peru's actually a nice flag, actually. I think I have to put it in D. I don't think it's as nice as like Norway, but it's a pretty solid flag. It does the job. Pitcairn Islands, I really like the album, but the Union Jack kind of ruins it for me, especially because it's stretched out. So that has to be under F. Portugal is actually a really nice flag, and I'm actually going to put it in A tier. I really like the flag. It's definitely one of my favourite flags with official coverage. Meanwhile, Qatar is completely opposite, and I really don't like the flag colour and just the evenness in general. It feels very distorted for me, and because of that, I have to put it in F. Romania, I like. It does a simple thing. I'm just not a big fan of the blue, yellow, and red without anything else. So in that case, I have to put it under E. Rwanda, the blue's really nice with the sun, but it's just very uneven, all the colours. And the last two colours, the yellow's not really that bright, and the green is not a fan of it with these colours. So I have to put Rwanda under F as well. St. Lucia, dunno, Jeff. St. Pierre and Miquelon, I think that's official street view, I believe it does, but this side kind of ruins it with the ship alone. It could have been a bit higher up, but I have to put it in F tier. Samoa, dunno, Jeff. South Tom and Principe, dunno, Jeff. Scotland. Scotland's actually quite a nice flag, and I've actually put this in B tier. Does the job, and it's a very simple but effective flag. And I have put Serbia under D, similar thing to Peru, does the job, simple but effective. Sierra Leone, dunno, Jeff. St. Martin, dunno, Jeff. Slovenia, I really like the Slovenia flag. I'm going to put it A tier. I like the combination of the really blue, the really red and white, and the album is really nice. One of my favourite albums. Okay, Somalia, dunno, Jeff. Spain. Well, Spain, it does the job again, so I have to put it under D. Sudan, dunno, Jeff. Switzerland, I like the colours that are involved, but it looks like something I need to put on a letter. Unfortunately, I have to put it in F because of that. Taiwan, it keeps flipping whether I like Taiwan or not, but I've decided to put it in C tier, and it's a pretty nice flag. Okay, so Tanzania, well, this one's quite an interesting one. It doesn't quite work fully. I think it's a bit of an awkward flag, but I like the gold strip that separates the black from the green and the blue, so I have to put it under E. Timor-Leste, dunno, Jeff. Tokalu, dunno, Jeff. Trinidad and Tobago, dunno, Jeff. Turkey, okay, this one's an interesting one, and I have put Turkey in D tier. It's similar thing to before, simple but effective and does the job. Dunno, Jeff. Uganda, and it's a very unique flag actually, it's a very unique one. I've actually put it under C tier. I actually really like it. I think it's the colour choice that probably makes it a bit lower than like likes of Slovenia and stuff like that. UAE, I don't like the really thick red parts of the flag, so that's going to be an F for me. The US, so this might upset a few, so I'm sorry, but I think the US is E tier, not F. Not quite, but I think it's a very underrated flag. It's not as striking as people think it is, and it's a bit too much going on, I feel like, as well, with the stars and all the stripes. Uruguay, the lines ruin it for me. I like the colour choice, but it's the top lines that really drive me mental, so I have to put it under F. Vanuatu, just a very average map. It just doesn't look as striking for me. It's not one of my favourite maps, and I've just put it under F. British Virgin Islands, dunno, Jeff. Wales, okay, Wales is definitely S tier. I love it. I love the green ground, I love the white sky, and I love the dragon. The dragon is amazing. The best dragon flag in the world, in my opinion. Okay, Western Sahara, dunno, Jeff. Zambia, dunno, Jeff. Island Islands, I don't really like it. I want to put it in F tier. It's something different to the other flags you get in like the Nordics and Scandinavia, but this one just ain't. I'm just not feeling that one. Donogef, Andorra. I've put Andorra in E alongside Romania. It's pretty much the same, just the Elba makes it look a bit nicer. Anguilla, Donogef. Antigua and Barbuda is a beautiful flag, but it's Donogef because it doesn't have official street view. Armenia, Donogef. Australia might. But this was a very hard pick. But I've actually put Australia in C tier. Pretty nice flag. I like the blue and the white. The white stars with the blue really suits it well. So I have to put it under C. Azerbaijan, Donogef, Donogef, Donogef. Belgium, this was very tricky. It was either between F and E. I don't like the way the flag is done. It's a bit awkward. The colours are straightforward though. It does its thing. But sadly, I actually put it under F because there's just something wrong with it. I don't know. When I look at Belgium flag, it's not one of my favourite flags. And it's probably a similar story to Switzerland. It's just not shaped right. And I like flags like the Taiwans, the Romania, that kind of style I like. I mean, some of them have been overstretched just because of the image, but Belgians I'm not really a big fan of. Bhutan's, it's just a beautiful flag. I mean, we've got a dragon on it, so I have to put it in S tier. It's a beautiful flag, one of my favourite flags in the world, so I have to put it in S tier. Donogef, absolute abomination. No thanks, Chief. Bulgaria, okay, so this one's quite interesting. I was undecided, but I decided to put this in D tier. It's actually not a bad flag, and it does the job. I don't think it's anything more than a D. Burundi, Donogef, Cameroon, Donogef, Donogef, Donogef. Chad, goated, but Donogef. Okay, China. This was another tricky one to decide. I think I decided to put it in E tier actually, because it's quite a simple map, but I'm not a fan of like how simple it is. Like, the red is not the best. I don't know. It just does. It's just not one of my favorite flags. I think that's the best way of putting it. But I think it's standardized enough to look okay. Okay, so Cocos Islands. This one was tricky, but I was split between E and F. I think the green and yellow looks very weird, and it's a bit all over the place. But I've actually decided to put it in F. I actually don't really like it that much the more I look at it, so I think it's going to stay there. Comoros, Donogef, Costa Rica. I think personally this is a very underrated flag, and I've actually put Costa Rica in C. I really like the blue, the white, and the red, the way it's been done, so I have to put it in C category because I actually barely like it. Croatia, I know this is a beautiful flag. This is definitely A tier at least. Okay, Curacao. So this was a tricky one, and I decided to put this one in C tier. I like the really good strip, and the blue with the white stars really fits well. So I'm a fan of that, and I put it in C. Czechia, we got a triangle moment again, but I don't mind it too much. I was kind of hedging between D and E, and I decided to go with like the lower end of D. I think it's a simple map, it does a job, and it stands out enough to look fairly alright. Okay, Donogef, Dominican Republic. This is an interesting one. I was thinking putting it in the C tier, mostly because it's a similar story to the Costa Rica flag. I really like how the colours are done, and the logo is not ruining the flag. So, some decent maps in the Central Americas, it looks like. Okay, Egypt. So this was an interesting one. I think I was hedging between E and F. I'm not the biggest fan of this flag, but the logo kind of saves it a bit. So I've actually put it in E, towards the lower end. It's actually not too bad, but it's not great at the same time. Okay, England. So this might come as a surprise to you, but I've actually put England in the E tier. I think it's very simple, very basic, and to me it doesn't strike out as much. So I have to put England in E. Donogef, Eswatini. Now this was a tricky one, because at first you think, oh, that's a really cool map with the black, the white, but the more I look at it, it's actually not that nice, for me at least, so I think I'm going to put it in E tier. Nothing really else to add there. Falklands Islands, I love the badge, I love the sheep, but it's Donogef. France, okay, so France I find is probably one of the best simple maps in the world, in my opinion. I really like the colours. I sound like an absolute traitor now, especially after the World Cup. But I think it's actually A. I think it's A standards. I really like it. Okay, so French Polynesia. Dunno, Jeff. Dunno, Jeff. I don't know, Jeff. Ghana. Not a big fan of it. I'm going to put that in F. Greece. I'm very picky with lines, and the lines towards the top, I'm not a big fan of. So I'm going to put that in F. Similar story to Uruguay, I just don't like that. Grenada. Dunno, Jeff. Guam. Very simple, plain map. I'm not a fan of it anyway, so it's an F. Guernsey. Dunno, Jeff. Dunno, Jeff. Dunno, Jeff. I don't know, Jeff. Hungary. Okay, so this was like a toss-up between, I think it was E and F. And I've actually decided to put Hungary in F. I think it's a very basic map. I'm not really the biggest of fans. India, though, I like this map. I like this flag a lot more. And I've actually decided to put this flag, I'm out to say map today, bloody hell, I'll put it in the B tier. I think it's it's a really nice flag. And yeah, I don't mind it. So Dusky won't be too mad about that, hopefully. Iran, dunno, Jeff. Ireland, okay, so Ireland was a tricky one because at first I used to really like Ireland as a flag, but the more I've looked at it, the less I've liked it. But I'm still putting it in C tier. I still think it's an okay flag. That's pretty decent, but it's definitely an overrated flag in my opinion. Okay, Israel. So Israel's a really nice flag. It's a very unique flag. I like the combination of the blue and the white. The lines kind of jam me adapt a little bit, but not that extremely. But I'm going to have to put it in B. I actually really like it. Jamaica, dunno, Jeff. Jersey, I am not a fan of this at all. I think the combination of having the cross doesn't look great anyway. But with the badge as well, I think you have to have one or the other. You can't have both, so that has to be F. Sorry for anyone who's from Jersey. Kazakhstan, dunno, Jeff. Kiribati, probably one of my favourite flags in the world, but unofficial. South Korea, okay, so this is definitely an overrated flag. And I was very tempted to put this in F, because the colours are not great, but I've only just put it in E. Okay, dunno, Jeff. Lao, okay, so Lao was a tricky one again. I think I was hedging between E and F. And I think I've gone with F. Yeah, I have to go with F here for Lao. I don't know, I just don't like the colour combination. It's just not that great, to be honest. So yeah, Lebanon, bit of a different story. I actually really like the Lebanon flag. Not just, probably mostly because there's a tree on it, to be honest. Even then, I've still put it in the D category. I think it does a job. Dunno, Jeff. Dunno, Jeff. Luxembourg, pretty difficult. I was hedging between C and D, I believe. And I decided to go with D, and I think that's the most fairest outcome, to be honest. I really like the blue at the bottom, but it's not one of the most striking maps, but it's still pretty nice to see. So I've definitely a D standard at least. Okay, Madagascar. I don't like Madagascar's map. I hate maps that have like, it's like a Tetris. It's like playing Tetris. Like you're trying to like join all these random blocks together. That's what it reminds me of. Similar thing with UAE. You know, you want to you're trying to get full completed lines or something. So I have to put those in F. I just don't like those type of flags. Okay, so Malaysia. Malaysia is a very chaotic flag, but at the same time, I prefer it over the US flag. So I've put it in E tier just based off that, pretty much. Mali. Okay, so Mali is a weird one because I really like the green on it on the left, but other than that, it's not as nice. But I think it's good enough for at least E. Marshall Islands, dunno, Jeff. Dunno, Jeff. Dunno, Jeff. I don't know, Jeff. Monaco, I don't like it. It's an F for me. Just because of just the awkwardness and the shape of it. Okay, Monty. I believe I put Mont in the E category. I think the background looks nice, and you know the birds in the middle kind of make it stand out enough, but it's nothing special. Morocco, dunno, Jeff. Dunno, Jeff. Dunno, Jeff. Okay, the Netherlands is an interesting one. I believe I've put this actually in the D category. Might be wrong, but yeah, I feel like it does the job. Okay, New Zealand, this is an interesting one. And I've decided to put this in the D category. I prefer the white stars over the red stars. And it feels a bit more awkward than the Australia one. And not as striking. So I put it in D category anyway. I still think it's a pretty cool flag. But I think I'll be pushing it if I put it any higher. Okay, Niger, dunno, Jeff. Dunno, Jeff. North Macedonia. Okay, this was an interesting one. I like the idea. You got that optical illusion thing going on, where the room's spinning that much, you start seeing shapes. But I've still put it in here. I still like it enough. I prefer a lot of other flags, but it's okay. So North Macedonia goes there. North Mariana Islands. This was an interesting one because I think this is one of the flags where you feel like you're either going to put it as terrible or you're going to like it. I've decided to put it in the B category. I actually really like the background. The background is really smooth and nice. I like blue backgrounds of flags, and the actual symbol is actually pretty nice. I don't mind it. It's a bit going on, but not too much, so I have to put it in the B category. Donojev. Panama might get official street view in the future. If it already has during this video, then fair enough, Jeff. But it's here, Donojev. Paraguay can get leaks, but Donojev. Philippines. The Philippines is probably one of the better ones with a triangle in, but I still don't like the flag. I'm sorry, I've put it in F, but only just. Okay, Poland. So this is like one of the most plainest flags you'll ever come across. So I think it'd be rude for me to put it high, unless it's striking, of course. And what I've decided is I'm going to put it in the E category. I don't think it's the nicest, but I think it's okay. It's a similar story to the England flag. Puerto Rico. So this is one of the rare exceptions where I actually don't mind triangles if it works. I've actually put Puerto Rico in the C category. So I think this is the highest one I've put in the C category. I might be wrong, but yeah, I actually like it. So Puerto Rico, you can go there. Reunion Island, as much as I like to say it's the best flag in the world, it literally looks like you got on paint and just had a fun time. So fair play to the person who made the map, but yeah, it's hideous. Russia. Okay, so Russia's flag, it's okay. It's fine, I guess, and it's okay enough. I think it's a pretty solid flag. I'm gonna put it in the C category. Moving on, Donojev. I don't know, Jeff. Donojev. Okay, San Marino. It's one of those flags where it kind of just looks weird. I'm not a fan of it that much, so I'm going to put it in the F tier. Saudi Arabia, Donojev. Senegal. Senegal is probably an underrated flag. I actually like Senegal's flag quite a bit. Not too much though, but I feel like it's fair to put it in the D category. Donojev. Singapore. Okay, this was an interesting one. I was debating C or D here, but I think it does the job. It's simple enough. Okay, Slovakia. I actually really like Slovakia's flag. The actual logo is beautiful. I really like the logo 100%. But there's one problem. The colours just don't seem as nice as the ones from Slovenia. I've actually put it in the C category, but quite high up. I do like Slovakia's flag quite a bit. It's the logo really carries it, really. The logo is what makes it 10 times better. Okay, Solomon Islands, Donojev. South Africa. Now, this is a beautiful flag. This is probably the only flag where you've got a lot going on with like the shapes, and it still looks beautiful. And South Africa has to be under A. Okay, so South Sudan, Donojev, Sri Lanka. I really don't like the flag. I'm sorry. I like the lion, but other than that, it's just not the best map I've seen. Suriname, Donojev. Where would I put Sweden? It's actually not a bad flag. I might put it in D because it does the job, doesn't it? But it's nothing more special than that. I think that's a fair judgment. I'm going to stick with D. Syria, Donojev. Thailand, I really don't like the colours. I like the way it's been done, but the colours just don't look great. So that has to be F. Togo, Donojev. Tunisia. Okay, so this was quite a tricky one. It's simple. It does the job. And I've put it in Tunisia. I put it in the D category because of those reasons as well. Okay, Turkmenistan, Donojev, Ukraine. I actually really like the Ukraine's flag. I think the blue and the yellow are really striking out, but it just tells you sometimes simple maps just look better. And I think Ukraine's I think Ukraine's a very good example of that. So I believe I'm going to put it in the B category. I don't think it's quite good enough for A, but it's probably as close to A as you can get. Okay, UK. Okay, I'm going to sound the biggest traitor of all time here, but I actually do not like the UK flag. I think it's overstretched. and I don't know, I just don't like it. Okay, we'll leave Uzbekistan to the end because we have to, for the culture, of course. Okay, US Virgin Islands. This is like a very hit and miss one. I reckon a lot of people either love this or hate this flag. And to be honest, I actually like it. I like this flag. I think the white background is underappreciated at times, and I think the logo is so unique, and it's also a bird as well. So I just like that. I just like the combination of all of it. So I'll put it under the B category. Okay, Donojev. I don't know, Jeff. And Albania. So Albania is a really nice flag, and I've put it in the B category. I think the black, the really dark, the really striking black with the darkish red background looks really nice, so it has to be under the B category. American Samoa, probably one of the most disliked flags, mostly because it's just the shape. I just don't like the shape. I like the idea of the bird, but everything else I'm just not a big fan of. Angola, Donojev, Antarctica. This is an example of a flag that is simple but still looks really nice. The blue background looks really nice, and the way they put the Antarctica continent on it is beautiful. So I want to put it in A, but I think that's a bit. I think I'm pushing it too much for putting it A. But I think B is a fair place to put it actually. And it's a similar background to the North Mariana Islands, so that kind of makes sense why both of them are there actually. Okay, so Argentina. So Argentina is a simple flag, it does a job, D category. Yeah, Argentina is a very straightforward flag. Aruba, Donojev, Austria. This was a tricky one, but I was weighing actually C category. But then again, I was also weighing up D category. And I decided to put it in a D category. I don't think it's enough to put it in C category. I think it does a job, and it's a fairly nice flag to look at. So, Bahamas, one of the most ugliest flags I've seen, but it's Donojev. Bangladesh, the red circle is just drowning mental. Has to be F. I'm sorry, it just doesn't look great. Belarus, what the hell is going on with that colour distribution? Like, how thick does the red have to be? I do not like it, so that's an F. Belize, Donojev, Bermuda, similar story with the Union Jack, overstretched. I don't like that much, and also the red background just doesn't look as nice anyway. Bolivia, okay, Bolivia's an interesting one. I believe though I put Bolivia in E category, but fairly high up. I like the colours. The colours are acceptable in my opinion to like it enough, and yeah, it's nothing special. E category. Botswana, okay, so Botswana is an interesting one because it has the black strip. It's unique. This might annoy a few people. I don't like it that much compared to others. I think it's one of those flags where you think it's that different, and you see the white like separation between the black and the blue. That's why people maybe think it looks nice, but I just don't like it. And I'm sorry to anyone who disagrees with me, but that's just my opinion. Okay, so Brazil, I like Brazil's much more, and I decided to put Brazil in the C category. So it's a pretty nice flag. I think the green and the yellow really suit it well, and the globe in the middle does the job. So definitely C category. Donojev, Cambodia. I like the idea of the temple, but it just seems so oversaturated. The blue and the red don't. At first, I thought they did, but the blue is actually too dark. If it was a bit paler, then maybe. But even then, I'm not a big fan. I'm not the biggest of fans of it. But I have put it in the E category. I'm going to put it as a failure. I'll put it in the E category. Canada. So Canada's actually a really nice flag. I love the leaf in the middle. And I've put it in A. So it's one of my favourite flags for sure. There are better ones out there, but not many, in my opinion. So definitely A category. Okay, Donojev. What the hell is that, Jeff? Chile. So Chile is a tricky one because I like the colour mix, but at the same time, it feels like a half Tetris thing. But the star kind of saves it, I feel. And I've actually, fully enough, put it in C category because I think it's actually a nice flag. I think it's one of those rare examples where it actually works out with the colours. Okay, Christmas Island, I really like this flag. I think it's definitely shouldn't be to make it too high because I think it's still a bit chaotic for it to be one of the best flags, sorry. I said maps so many times. But it has, I think I have to put it with Australia, to be honest. I think Australia and Christmas Island are both on par with each other. Okay, so Colombia. So Colombia is an interesting one because I actually don't like the Colombian flag because I think it really explores itself with all that yellow free and covering the map. It could have been, if it was more even, I would like it more. But I have put it in there. I just don't like it. Dunno, Cook Islands might have official, but I'm leaving it. It'll be F anyway. Cuba, Dunno. Hopefully Cyprus will get new History Street View at some point, but Dunno. Denmark, I don't really like the flag that much, but I think it's okay. I think it's acceptable. So because of that, I'm putting it in E. Dominica, Dunno. Ecuador, much nicer flag than Colombia. May sound mental because it's the same kind of background, but the actual album makes it look 10 times better. Like, it actually makes sense why they've made it bigger. So Ecuador, where have I put it actually? Where am I going to put this actually? I think I'm going to put it C. I think C is a fair judgment of Ecuador. El Salvador, Dunno. Estonia, a beautiful flag, and I've put it in B category. It's one of those rare examples where black actually works with the flag, and I think the white is the real difference here. The white makes it stand out a lot. We've got a white background though, so it's not making it look as nice as it would do if you didn't have the white background around it, but it's definitely a B category. Ethiopia, Dunno, Pharaohs. I don't like the Pharaoh flag. I think the weird blue next to the red just doesn't look right. F. Finland, or should I call the fat cross? I just don't like it. It's one of those flags where I just can't unsee that. It just doesn't look as nice. Rightio, French Guinea, Dunno. Gambia, a beautiful flag, but Dunno. Germany, very underrated flag in my opinion. People do give the Germany flag too much grief. I think it works really well with the red, the black, and the orangey yellow. I think it works pretty well. I think I'll put it in D because it does a job. It's nothing special, but I do like it, so it is D. Okay, Gibraltar. Okay, so this one was tricky, but I have decided. I do think it's going for E. I think the overdone white bit has been outweighed by the actual album. I think the album works very well with the mostly white background, so I'll put it in E. Only just though. So yeah, that's Gibraltar for you. Actually, not too bad. Greenland, however, is a tricky one because the colours. No, it's okay. I like the circle, the semicircle kind of effect. The red and the white flip the way around. I like that idea. But I'll still put it in E category only just because I just don't think it looks as nice. I think the white bit here saves it a bit. Okay, so Guadalupe, Dunno. Guatemala does the job, and I think I have to put this in. I think I have to put Guatemala in D. I don't think it's the most amazing flag in the world, but I think it does a job and it looks nice enough. So Guatemala D. Guinea, Dunno. Hong Kong. Okay, so this is actually a solid flag in my opinion, and I think it does a job. I think Hong Kong does the job, so I think I'm going to put it in D. Iceland, actually a very underrated flag. I love it. I really like it. I think it's my favourite Nordic flag. I'm pretty sure it is anyway. And I'm going to put it in B. I think the white outline with the red and that type of blue, it's the blue backgrounds again. It looks beautiful, and I have to put it in B. I don't think it's as nice as the ones higher up, but it's definitely a very nice flag. Okay, Indonesia. So this is where it might be a bit contradictory from what I said before, but Indonesia, it's that red. It's that red's very striking. I like that red. That type of red looks really nice with the white, and it's a normal flag. It's not some weird flag like Monaco. I've actually put this in C. I actually like it. I like this flag. It's simple. It stands out, and yeah, I don't mind it. I'm gonna put it in C. Okay, Iraq, Dunno. Isle of Man. So this was a tricky one because the elm I like, but the background I don't. But I think, I don't know. Do I put it in D? I think I'm gonna put it in D. I think the background isn't the best. I think the background could be nicer. Well, it's just better backgrounds, but I think the album is good enough to put it on D automatically. So I'll put it in D. It's not as nice as the Hong Kong one for sure, but definitely D, at least D. Okay, Italy. I think I put Italy in D as well because it does the job. It's nice to look at. Japan. This might surprise you, but I really don't like it. The more I've looked at this Japan flag, I've looked at Japan flags too much, and it's the rising sun. It's the color of rising sun that gets me every time. Once you see it, I don't like it. I'm sorry. I can't unsee it. I just don't like it anymore. Okay, Jordan. Definitely an F for me. I don't like the triangles, and I don't like how the colours that is mixed with it. Just is what it is. Kenya. So Kenya is a very nice, unique map. So that gives it something. I don't think it's as striking, however, despite the unique colours. But I think it's still good enough for D tier. North Korea, Donorjev, Kyrgyzstan, or Jake Lyons' lost cousin. Where would I put this? Do I put it in D or C? I think we'll put it in D. I think although it's like very striking in the middle, I don't think it's as nice. I don't think it works as well. But I think D works fine. So I'm going to put it in the D category. Okay, Latvia's. Sorry, Peter, but I'm not a fan of certain colours, and Latvia's colours I'm not really buying. So unfortunately, I'm going to put it in the F. I'm sorry, Peter. But on the other hand, Lesotho, or Lesotho, however you want to pronounce it, I actually really like this. I think it's one of my favourite flags. I think it's my favourite flag in Africa, with official coverage, of course. And I've put it in the A category. Once I get there, obviously, because this tier list is getting pretty big. But yeah, definitely one of my most favourite flags. Actually, I forgot about South Africa. Those two are my favourite official flags in the Africa continent. Okay, Libya, Donorjev, Lithuania, I don't really like. I think I'm going to put that in the F tier, to be honest. Macau, similar story to Hong Kong, in my opinion. I like it enough. It could be higher, potentially, but I think the same category as Hong Kong makes some sort of sense. Okay, so Mali, Donorjev, Malta. Okay, so Malta's a tricky one. I think Malta is hedging between D and E. It's not as nice as people think it looks from first glance, but I think it's acceptable enough to put it just about in the D category. Martinique, it has official coverage, so I guess it counts, but it's an F. Like, why do you need 4 snakes? It just looks hideous. Mauritius, Donorjev. Mexico. Okay, Mexico's an interesting one. Where would I put Mexico? I think I put it in D because I actually don't mind it. I think it's a similar situation with Italy where it kind of works, and also the eagle in the middle looks really nice too. So I'm going to put Mexico in D. Moldova, Donorjev. Mongolia. I think I put this one in E. It's a very overrated flag, I feel. I think it's just because it strikes out at first glance, but when you actually look at it quite often, I don't actually like it. So I'm sorry, Cookie, or any Mongolia fans out there. I don't really like Mongolia's flag. I just don't like it. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean it's acceptable. I feel like E is enough, but I think it's only just an E. I'm not really necessarily a fond fan of it, but I think I'd still like the gold kind of palace or whatever it's meant to be on the left. But it drives me daft why you don't have it on both sides. But it is what it is. Donorjev, I would love this country to be in Geoguessr. Beautiful flag as well, but Donorjev. Nepal is in the game with official coverage, but like for a flag, it's just not great, is it? Let's be honest. So I'm gonna put it in there. New Caledonia, Donorjev. Nigeria, it's okay. I think it gets a bit overrated, but it's a simple but effective map. And because of that, I'm going to put it actually in C because I actually don't mind it. I think it's simple but effective and fairly likable. It could have been higher, but I don't think it's that amazing. Norfolk Island, Donorjev, Northern Ireland. I think I have to put it as an F. I don't actually like it as much as England. I think I like what they're trying to do, but I don't like it. And now we're left with Uzbekistan, and of course Uzbekistan has unofficial coverage, so realistically it should be here. But I do like my Uzbeki dons. So for the culture, we have to start climbing up this tier list till we eventually get to the top and put it in S tier. But it feels unfair to put it with Wales and Bhutan. They are both beautiful flags and very amazing. Probably not the same case with Uzbekistan, because Uzbekistan... Oh, I may have done a mistake there. But Uzbekistan, it deserves its own category. And that category has to be the GOAT. So, there you have it. I've finally done all the countries with flags on this tier list, but now I'm going to fidget around, try and make it look a lot more presentable for you guys in a second. Right, okay, so this is the final product. Of course, Uzbekistan the GOAT, but I've kept Wales and Bhutan as S. Slovenia, Croatia, Lesotho, South Africa, Canada, France, Portugal are all A. Ukraine, Estonia, Albania, Israel, India, Iceland, Scotland, Antarctica, North Mariana Islands, and US Virgin Islands are B. Christmas Island, Australia, Puerto Rico, Taiwan, Ecuador, Uganda, Indonesia, Norway, Curacao, Slovakia, Russia, Brazil, Chile, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, Nigeria, and Ireland are in C, which I would say is above average. D is probably average, so Peru, Macau, Hong Kong, Lebanon, Austria, Luxembourg, Senegal, Spain, Argentina, Germany, Italy, Singapore, Kenya, Kyrgyzstan, Tunisia, Turkey, New Zealand, Sweden, Mexico, Malta, Alabama, Netherlands, Serbia, Czechia, Guatemala, and Bulgaria. And E is probably the ones that I prefer not to like, but are okay enough. Tanzania, Mali, Bolivia, Andorra, Romania, Eswatini, Cambodia, Montenegro, North Macedonia, Vietnam, China, Gibraltar, Malaysia, Poland, Egypt, England, Denmark, United States, Mongolia, Greenland, and South Korea. And the remainder that we'll put in F are here. And then, of course, all the countries that don't have official Street View yet, or maybe the Cook Islands, which I couldn't be bothered. There might be some that might do, or some weird islands, but I would have probably put them all in F anyways. But yeah, that is it. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to share your opinions and whether you will change this. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Yeah, of course.